Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm late. Mara dropped me off, so I had a
okay.
boozy seltzer.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:10.
Oh, sorry, you did wait for me?
Well, I had to sign a ton of things.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't
Wasted time.
exactly, so, all right, community input. Okay, consent calendar, you all read these?
Yep.
Okay,
Good
you
with
all
that.
set with them?
Yep.
Okay, consent calendars approved by consensus. No police, no fire, no highway. So we'll go down to, what is it that we have to do tonight under tenant amendment?
A, B, C, and H.
A, B, C, and H. Okay. All right. A, budget. Committee's approved budget, okay.
So the budget committee approved the town budget with an adjustment for $580 for the fire payroll taxes, which we did not consider in this meeting. So your budgets otherwise match, with the exception of dental that they moved down to $1. There were not enough people to make that fly under the current proposal for next year anyway. So my question for the board is whether or not you want to match that budget so that there is one budget going forward, or do you want to present a select board budget that is different in either or both ways?
I'd like to see it match it.
Yep.
I mean, it's something we had to do, we just forgot to do it.
Right.
So it's not like it's putting something extra that we're really against or not, we have to do it one way or the other, so.
Yeah.
I would like to.
Absolutely.
So-
And the dental as well?
We don't have our numbers, right?
Well, you don't have the numbers. The only thing, I mean, if you kept the money in there, you could work with the money to find a different proposal. I'm not suggesting that you do that. You know.
The only thing that, my understanding is that only if they could get it for nothing, was
Well,
kinda,
that's true for one person, and it would help with another. You've got a low dollar threshold with the current option that that other person has. So it doesn't mean that it has to be fully funded necessarily.
so,
And then there's one that we're just not at the mark that he would leave the spouse plan.
Mhm.
So I don't know what that is though.
and, this is the only plan that we've looked at.
Well,
This is the smallest participation plan, isn't it?
so we've looked at this one plan that people seem to like. You can pick any level of benefits you wanna offer and the premium will match that. So you can revisit that as well and find a different plan. The savings is not significant in doing that. They're all
Well,
sort of between $40 and $44 a month.
But when you say that all liked it, but clearly not all of them, if they're not signing up for it.
Well, so 5 of them really like it and would take it. One of them, it doesn't matter what it is, they're just not gonna pay for it because they're just not really interested in it.
Yeah.
The remaining 2 like it, but it's the cost doesn't match what the alternative is for them right now. They get, they're covered elsewhere, and so,
How much can it be for an annual, like a payroll deduction? My dental's like $2, I
So was
think.
mine, yeah, something like that. But
Is
I'm
it-
weekly, so so it'd be 4.
But I'm not sure if maybe my company contributes quite a lot
Yeah,
of that,
more,
maybe?
yeah.
well, yeah, so our cost is approximately $40 a month.
Oh, okay, and
Because we're
then the
not-
participant contributes,
So the current proposal last visited was 50-50 with the employee.
oh,
So
I see.
I multiplied the $40 or whatever exactly it is times 12 and then divided it by 26 pay periods
Mhm.
to get their cost. So it's probably around, maybe, it's close with that, with one of them, but
So, is there any way that we can hook on to the schools, dental? Even, they're all town employees.
No, they're school employees, and that's why.
Well, they're school or town employees.
No, because they're a different governmental entity, we're all separate. So essentially, the point of where you're going with this is that you have better buying power in groups. We already have, in that we are grouped with other towns our size that renew in January. There are 4 groups with health trusts, 2 that renew in January, 2 that renew in July, and they're either large employers or small employers. So we are small employers in January.
But we still have to get, it's 75%.
And that's not a health trust, yes, it's not a health trust rule, it's like an insurance law to spread, it's risk management.
Yeah, the pool.
Yeah.
So for this year, so we had budgeted like $2,400, $2,500.
Approximately, which was prorated for just April through the end of the year. So at that, I think it was $5,600, that doesn't make sense. It was 26, you know what, I have the budget. And it says in the notes. It's 2614 is what, no. Yeah, 2614. So 2614 is the prorated amount, 3485 would be the full year amount at that 50/50 cost share.
I think it's easier to have one budget number.
I do too. I mean, we just need to start earlier.
Yeah.
Next year, putting it in and we know we don't have our numbers doesn't make sense to me. But if we have changing in staff, then, we might get our numbers if there's gonna be any changing in staff.
But you wouldn't be able to join in like May.
We can,
Can.
only because we're not currently enrolled. So we wouldn't,
Oh,
for
I
example,
see.
be
So
able
you're
to
not-
change our
you
health
can't
plan
really
in
enroll.
May. But since we don't have dental, you can sign up for dental at any
I
time.
see.
I think is the question to keep it on the budget
The
or
question is,
not?
yes, the budget
But it makes
line.
your budget and the budget committee's budget not the same.
And the budget committee has it on, or not has it
$1.
on?
Not.
$1.
$1.
I mean, I think if that situation comes about, we can probably find $2,600.
Right, I think it's likely that
Because they're leaving it as
Younger-
$1, so it leaves the line open,
Correct.
so.
younger people will be hired, I think, throughout the police force or the firemen, and I think they're more
The
likely to
firemen
know.
aren't covered, it's only the police and the
So
officers.
full-
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And highway.
Yeah, and highway.
Full-time, yeah.
It has to be full-time employees, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So it isn't them.
I'd say keep it
I
the
agree, I
same.
think
Yeah.
if we make it the same as the budget committees, it's just less.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then.
Yeah, finding
and then,
20.
But,
Right,
if things
2200.
change, you're right, I think we can find that in the budget. It would be even less than that at some point, so, it leaves it open to be able to do something if we needed to, if we wanted to. Okay, good, thanks for doing that. All right, so we need to, so we didn't do a motion, we need
A
to make a
motion,
motion for the what is it, 50?
I'll give you the bottom line of the
Okay.
budget. 2,454,755 matches the budget committee.
Okay,
All right, I'll make a motion that we fund the 2020 budget at $2,454,755.
Seconded?
all right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Stormwater asset management grant.
So,
Did we need to talk about A2
What's that for?
budget
I
presentation?
thought that was just a late folder.
well, we ought
Is
to,
this, is this for
public hearing.
public hearing, sorry. Public hearing, sorry.
So we don't have to talk about it tonight,
Oh,
but we
no,
should talk
that's
about it
fine.
soon.
Okay, so let's
Um,
talk about it.
So, the budget committee has not decided about whether, the public hearing is the budget committee's meeting, so it's up to them how this goes, but typically, they allow for the governing bodies to present their own budget. So, Denise, as the ex officio, would you like to do that? Do you want me to do that? Do either of the other of you wanna have a role in this? So this will be the warrant articles, the financial warrant articles in addition to the budget. So we also need to, I have in mind to create a PowerPoint presentation to help with explaining what's going on, but I just wanted to put that out there.
I mean, I'm not opposed to you doing it if you want to. I mean, I'll be there as well, but I mean, if you're the one that creates it, so you have the most knowledge of what a line item would entail.
Okay,
So, do you want to do it?
I'm fine with that, I
Okay.
just don't wanna presume
No.
and wanna,
You know more than us.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you know,
We're closer to
the line-to-line detail of what happens in it, so, I mean, but if something happens, I will do it.
Okay,
So that's gonna be pretty soon, right?
it's on the 18th, Saturday
Oh,
the 18th.
I
January.
can't believe that it's almost January.
Yes,
Oops.
it is indeed,
At 9 is usually.
yes.
Yep.
Oh, I already
9
have it
at the
on my
grade
schedule.
school. Yeah,
Great.
and the 21st if it's snow canceled,
Okay.
which I hope it's not.
It won't
And
be.
the school one is the week before that, just to let you know,
Okay.
at 9 AM as well in the grade school. And I don't think we have a date for this ceremony yet.
No,
Okay, so we're all set with Caroline doing it?
Yes.
And me being back up,
okay,
okay, all right,
thank you.
you're welcome, thank you. All right, stormwater asset management grant?
Okay, so this, we've got our approval, but it needs to go on the warrant. I have warrant article language, but at this point, as soon as possible, and we're a little bit late in doing so, we need to send out a request for qualifications from engineering firms. So the asset management grant is something that will actually be completed by and large by an engineering firm.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to, because this is grant funded through the state is regulating this process. And so we have to send out a request for qualifications. There's a list of qualified engineers on the DES website that we can send them to, at least 3 or all of them, or any number in between. And so I sent to you the request for qualifications in your email. It's a 4-page document, just asking for an engineer's qualifications, but not their cost proposal. It's just about qualifications for the job.
Meaning that they have to be like, what do you call, it's not registered engineer, it's professional engineer, PEs.
Yes.
They have to be PEs.
Well, but not just PEs, I think they have to be PEs who have experience with this,
Oh, okay.
or have some level of niche training.
Drinking water, civil site evaluation design, stormwater management, that
Right,
stuff. Yeah, I'm
yes.
looking at it now.
So, so we need to get that request for qualifications out as soon as possible. I emailed it to you. I expect that you haven't had a chance
When
to,
did you email it
oh,
today?
just this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So, have a look at it. We're already behind, and it's really time
Behind
sensitive.
for what?
So to get this out, because we need to get the request, so the other thing is, we need to put in there a deadline by which we want to receive these
Mhm.
requests for qualifications and then open them publicly and take them under advisement. And then, once you see all of these, we are going to try to, according to this request for qualifications, we are going to work with the engineering firm we find to be most qualified that we want to work with, and work with them to find a price point and work on cost. And only if that is not successful do we go to the second engineer on the list. So I need a date to put in the request for qualifications.
There's 2 firms that the water department has worked with recently.
Yes.
Are they within scope?
One absolutely is, and has been advising us on this project, is Hoyle Tanner, and they've also, done a number of things for the town. Wright Pierce has never, that I'm aware of, done anything on behalf of the town, but they may be qualified to
They've gotten bids from them, I think, but I don't think they've ever gone to them, right? They've always done Hoyle Tanner.
No,
No,
they've
it's the other way
been
around.
doing.
Oh, it's the other way
they've done
around.
it- Well, they were with Hoyle Tanner and then they went with Wright Pierce
Right.
for
Oh,
a
got it.
couple of years and now they're back with Hoyle Tanner.
Okay.
So we can certainly send it to Wright Pierce, both of them, to, you know,
Why do they both, why do they both have the same name? Like, you know, it's two names. It's why?
It's like a law firm.
yes.
So is there money in the budget for this?
It's a warrant article.
Oh, it's a
So,
warrant article, okay.
It's a warrant article,
All right. So if the warrant article doesn't pass, that doesn't happen.
correct.
Okay.
So, do you want to review the document, or are you comfortable with the template language going out with a deadline?
I was just looking at it and I thought it looked very nice. I'm very on board with the deadline because we've been burned so many times now with the stupid truck and the stupid, gosh, what was that other thing that we got
Well,
burned
the
with?
cruiser.
The police, the space needs. We had a deadline for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with the template language.
They must be very familiar with this, I'm sure.
Yes, and this is all just state protocol for this grant that happens every year, so all these engineering firms are, you know,
Have-
doing this and expecting this and have done this every year. you know.
Are all these engineering firms in New Hampshire?
I don't know that.
Are there different requirements, different states?
N- Not really, because stormwater is a federal permit, so,
Okay.
you know, they should be pretty much the same anywhere.
Cool.
So the date really needs to be before the public before the vote?
Oh,
Make sure that you have enough money. on the
so we
warrant.
need to talk about, so the warrant article will come up at the public hearing, the budget
Mhm,
public hearing
mhm.
and the deliberative session.
Mhm.
Yes, so, yes.
Because it could be revised at the deliberative session.
Oh,
if
for
it
sure,
wasn't
but
enough, but we should have it, the cutoff time before that. Well, that's-
absolutely.
that's a
So
little
I'm
tight
hoping for
them.
2 weeks, you know, I'm hoping to just send it out tomorrow, have it be 2 weeks. And it should be pretty quick and easy. If it's all right with you, I'll make them due at the end of the day, on a business day, and then you all can come and look at them. I'm asking for 4 copies so that you can each have your copies and read through them, and then we'll revisit.
Okay, I think 2 weeks is fine, what do
Yeah.
you think? How about you?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine, should do that.
Is there any chance, we've been doing work recently and we've, contractors, I don't know if it's different for engineering firms, are just completely overwhelmed. Is there a chance that we put this out and they just say, no?
Of course,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
of course.
Okay,
And then we
and then what do we
put it
do?
back out again.
Well, Hoyle Tanner is the one that brought this to our attention. right?
Okay,
I don't
okay,
suspect
okay.
we
And
really know, right.
Yes,
And
so
they
I'm
Okay,
sure
work
great.
with
that
us
that
a
one
lot
will.
on,
Good.
did a lot of the culvert work and stuff like that too.
Okay.
So I think that,
They're not
see what
likely
they
to
would
do
say
that.
no. I don't think they would say no.
I-
It might be more or less than what we're proposing it should be, but,
Yes,
yeah,
Great.
Okay, cool.
okay.
good.
All right, purchase order 1781.
Okay, so that is in
Somewhere in
the other
here?
folder.
This
That's
one?
Yes, you'll see it's yellow. The highway department is asking the board if you would consider, so this is the purchase order to buy roof trusses and supports for roofing over the recycling bins.
Mhm.
They would like for the board to consider revising the purchase order by $1,000 to purchase additional trusses so that the last bay in that line of bins can be enclosed as well for
What about the
recycling
compactor?
storage. The contract, they don't wanna do the compactor yet, though they agree that there's a need to do so because they feel as though it would be best to do that at the same time as replacing the shed. They want to buy materials, build a new shed, that shed's falling apart, and has
Mhm.
But
been,
they haven't budgeted that.
well,
Well, under-
Well, let's be honest about it, they
That's
haven't, right?
I think they can, I think they find that they can do it within their existing
Their budget's
building
quite
maintenance
large.
and repairs. But, you know, it wasn't budgeted above and beyond that. So, yes, it is, you know, it is the risk that you buy materials to do that and then, you know, the heater goes wrong or something like that. So they wanna wait until the compactor at the time that they're you know, making a new shed so that it's all.
Is the shed the little structure or the large structure?
Yeah, the
I
little
think the little one.
The
guard hut up at the top.
The
right?
compactor
okay.
on the left, the shed that goes with the compactor on the left.
Oh, so there's two sheds on the top?
Yes,
Oh, I've
Yes,
only noticed
yeah.
one, okay,
yeah,
I see,
they're both enclosed where you can
yeah.
press the compactor
Yeah.
button. So, so no, it does not include the compactor.
So, where are we on for 2019's available funds? Where are
You're fine and
we in the whole total picture?
yes,
I guess I just don't understand, so they said $3,500 would do, I thought it was all the bins, so there was.
well,
no-
right, and so they didn't budget properly and this is, you know, a mea culpa that it didn't include the last bin and they had an aha moment and thought
Okay.
that would be really, a
Well, it's-
relatively inexpensive way to create storage for baled recyclables.
So it's changing the overall purpose.
It's not currently being used, so it's about
Oh, I
purposing
see, I
unused
get you,
space.
okay. That makes sense then.
Okay, so it's gonna be 45 instead of 35 is the proposal.
That is what they're asking for.
All right, any further discussion?
No.
All right,
I can make a motion to
Okay.
amend, I'll move that we amend purchase order 1781, so it'll be a total of $4,500
Yeah.
for materials for recycling bins.
Seconded?
okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, we wanted, need to have a signature.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
I think, it's my own opinion, but we need to put some guidelines on budgeting going forward for all department heads.
I agree. At what
And-
point, I'm sorry, Denise, can I answer? I was just wondering, at what point, does it become a warrant article? I did sign up.
It has to be like a capital item or some sort, and something
Like a purchase?
like a cruiser, or,
I say it's one of the, which one you signing on?
Yeah, we're
Typically,
signing it because
ongoing
we're
expenses, operational expenses go in the operating budget. But there is a gray area and the board has discretion about what it wants to put in warrant articles. There's not a dollar amount or purpose threshold, though typically larger and one-time expenses are warrant articles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mostly like a one-time or like I say, cruisers and equipment, expensive equipment. Yeah, I think we need to make sure that we talk about budgeting going forward to all department heads and making sure, and I think we need to have better lists of what they're expecting to do within the
Right.
budget on the particular lines, equipment, what you're expecting to buy. They used to do that years ago, when I served on the budget committee, and they would tell you that I want a chainsaw and I want just different kinds of things within that line. Doesn't hold them to it, but it gives you an idea of what they're thinking about and what they're doing. I think we should
Just
go back and
some sort of plan.
a plan, right, instead of just having money out there and then.
It does seem like there's a sense of, there's money left in the budget, what do I need? Kind of thing right now,
At the end, well, they don't have the money in their budget, so this is coming from the bottom line of the whole entire budget.
Oh, this is,
What-
they
what
don't
they-
have money in the highway?
Well-
Not in that line,
Not in that.
Not in that line, but
Yeah.
in highway there is.
not much.
Not much, but
Oh,
there
I
is,
see.
Yeah,
I see.
there is.
So this is coming from the bottom line of the
Yeah.
budget, which we have the right to do, so.
Yeah,
But I just think that we have to start thinking, and they have to start thinking about long-term projects and those kind of things. And we knew about the shed, and we knew about the bins, and it still didn't get budgeted, so we need to really work on that. My opinion, anyway. All right,
That is all I believe has to happen in public.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, this is very silly, but I know I always come and I say, I read something on Facebook. Someone asked about the ice rink on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure we said, like, someone, Recreation was gonna deal with it, right? Or not going to deal with it.
It falls under the purview of the Recreation Committee if they want to do that. They just, the current membership hasn't taken an interest in that over other
Yeah.
things.
Got it.
And the liner has been destroyed, so
And
we
it's
don't have the
warm.
money for a new
Well, and
liner.
it's warm, but,
Okay, so no new liner.
So,
Okay.
the committee would have to find a group of volunteers. You need more than one person who would take ownership over it, because
Got
it
it.
has to get shoveled every time it snows
Mhm.
and watered, so there's
Mhm.
maintenance to it, which is the bigger problem and really why it died. 'cause
Where
it was
is the ice
Right
rink?
next to the
It's-
fire station,
Oh,
between that and,
yeah, okay,
before the, ball field.
got it. Yeah, I was
It
just
was a lot of
curious.
work, so we burnt out one family on.
My
one
hometown
volunteer
did the
to do
same
it.
thing, it's just, it,
Well, and the
someone
fire
does
department
it.
too, they always
Yeah.
had to water it.
Yeah.
So it's, it's a lot of people that are, yeah, and one family really got burned out on it, so.
Mm.
It's a lot of work, especially with the snow removal and stuff, so. We really have to have a committee come together and just really that's all they do.
So warrant article for Zamboni, we're gonna do that right now?
No.
It's a great idea.
What's
Maybe
after?
you could get one from UNH.
Yeah, great, let's get from you,
That's just a
slightly
question
used.
for the board, that there are some, I'm just thinking about one in particular, the cable franchise agreement. We haven't had an update about that in a while from legal, and so I wanted the board's take on that. Do you want me to check in with him? But checking in with him means incurring expenses.
Just
But
making a phone call, yeah.
our 1-year agreement expires in July, so it's just just something to keep in mind. We can do another 1-year agreement, or we ought to check in with him and
Okay, all right.
revisit it.
Let's
So-
keep it on there, so that keeps
All right.
us, alert on that. Okay, so then, we need to go into non-public, governments RSA 91A:32A personnel.
So moved?
Second?
Is it that one or is it the other one?
Well,
It's
both,
Oh, okay.
one and then the other.
Okay, and then RSA 91A:32C, reputation of an individual not on the board.
Is that welfare and,
No.
it's not welfare, no?
If you want an update on welfare, we can do that, but it isn't welfare.
Okay, no.
So, okay, so roll call,
Oh, so we don't
Miles?
have any welfare.
No.
no,
Yes.
okay, Jessica?
Yes.
Denise, yes, okay, so we are going to non-public, and after that, we are going home, so.
The roads are terrible.
Oh, no
I know
kidding.
you guys got here,
Yeah.
but they're ridiculous.